I haven't had a job in Obi. It's been about 9 years. 9 years. My youngest son, around the time my youngest son was born.
That was the last time you had a
Yes.
clock in, clock out.
It was actually January 5th, 2014 or 13.
That was the day you left the job?
That was the day I was asked to leave.
Okay.
Yeah. That's another story.
You remember that date?
Yeah. I remember coming home. Do you want to hear something funny? To my wife. Do you hear something funny happened to me today? She's like, yeah, what? I was like, I got fired. She's like, what? That's uncomfortable enough of an intro.
That is pretty uncomfortable right there.
Yeah, that was a life-changing moment for us. We'll talk about that uncomfortable moment. In a job where my whole heart wasn't in it, and their whole heart wasn't in me being there. So this is a 50-50 deal. Like, nobody was putting their best effort forward. And I've realized since then, I'm not made to work for somebody. Right. That's not who I am. And I was trying to pretend for the golden handcuffs. I like that paycheck, right?
Yeah.
That steady paycheck at that time. So it just didn't work out. And it's not something where I'm going to walk away and blame the person that let me go. I'm going to look at the things I have looked at the things that I could have done better. And sure, there's some things that they could have done better too. Sure. But it ain't going to help me to focus on that.
No.
So, yeah. 3 months prior to that, I remember very clearly, it's one of the most clear things I ever remember the Lord telling me. I remember the Lord telling me in September, 3 months previous, to leave. Put your 2 weeks notice in and leave. My wife and I had started a lawn care business, which I had a lawn care business for pretty much my entire life since I was 14 or 15. Dad got us started in that. And we had started that back up. And it was very, very small, making like $2,500 a month. Okay. If you know business, you know $2,500 a month. That ain't what you put in your pocket.
No, that's the gross sales. You got to pay the gas, and
Yes.
you got to pay the loans on the lawnmowers, and if you got an employee, you got to pay him. That $2,500 might turn into $750 in your pocket.
Maybe
if you're lucky.
If you're lucky.
Yeah.
So that's where we were at the time, and I was making $5,000 a month at my job.
Okay.
And so it was hard I knew that I needed to get to about $10,000 in revenue in the lawn care business to replace. And that's if I was doing most of the work.
Right.
Which I could have at that time if I didn't have a full-time job. Lord says leave, put your 2 weeks notice in. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Winter's coming up. It's not a good time, God.
Lawn care, not a lot of lawn care needed in the wintertime.
You know, you get some through in East Texas. You get
leaves.
Mid-November. You can still cut grass, and then you got some leaves in November, December, January, and February. If you've done all your work the right way, is dead.
Yeah.
February especially, there's nothing to do. I'll wait till March. I'm gonna put my 2 weeks notice.
That's the plan.
That's the plan. God's telling me, hey, here's your plan. And I'm like redlining it. It's saying, no, that's not a good plan, dude. Like, I'm going to do my own thing. I got the control here. Fast forward to January 5th, I get called into the office and,
God's plan commences.
That's right. And it was cool. What I will say about that company that I work for is that they gave me a severance, which was, I think, totally a God thing so that we could get through until. And I think that was just God saying, hey, bro, I got you. Like, even though you were not obedient, I got you.
Right.
And we didn't miss a meal. We didn't miss a payment. We did, Lord took care of us. It's pretty awesome, actually.
That's awesome.
It was uncomfortable, mostly for my wife, because it really didn't. It bothered me, but it really didn't bother me to a great extent.